Spiritually fit so that you can always find it in yourself, to go deep. Mentally fit so that you're listening to blend.
Wow, it's a pleasure to be here with you once again as we get into our topics of conversation here on Blend. Yeah, it's a one Friday, should I say Friday night? Yeah, over here, and I welcome you to another episode of Blend here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. My name is Lázougi, and like I said, it's a pleasure to be here with you as we get into our topics of conversation. I welcome you to another exciting, well packed, well packaged episode of Blend. This is episode 16. Once again, welcome, and welcome. I hope you had an amazing week. I hope you enjoyed your week. You got to do the things that you set out to do, and you had fun doing those things. And every day, each day of the week, I hope each day and every day of this past week brought something new and exciting for you. And I know there are challenges, but, or should I say, however, I hope that you had a wonderful time, okay? Despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, once there's life, there's hope, and we keep moving and we keep believing in our ability to maneuver those challenges and make the most out of them. Okay, so this episode of Blend, we are going to be having our conversations. As always, we're going to be listening to electronic music. I've got electronic music on our playlist for us to, get ourselves immersed in, as well as conversation for us to chew on, okay? So my name is Lázougi, and I'm going to be your host for the next 1 hour as we get into what we have to offer on this episode of Blend. In case you're just listening to us for the first time, in case you're just joining us for the first time, and you're wondering what it is that we do here on Blend, on your number one electronic music station in God knows where, we come together to rub minds. That is you and I, okay? We come together to rub minds, to talk, to analyze the social issues happening around us in our society, to just talk and make sense of all of these things happening within our society, and as well as we break down the social conventions, the rules, and the conventions governing our interactions in society, or the rules and conventions governing how we live in this society of ours. Okay, we always do this here on Blend while we listen to electronic music, and we talk and make sense of this social issues, these social conventions. We talk about them, try to see if they are useful to us. Okay, because through this, from my observation over this past couple of years, I tend to realize that the more I look, the less I the less I tend to see when it comes to society, and the way society is being run. A lot of these things, a lot of these observations of mine and yours is what we like to talk about on Blend. So, before we get into our conversations, before we get into what we're going to be talking about today on Blend, first of all, we're going to go for a music break, okay? So, get into that music break, immerse ourselves in the music that we are going to be listening to. The song is titled Astro Rhythm, and when we come back from this music break, of course, you already know that, yeah, on your number one electronic music station, there's more talk, more music, and more conversation. So, get ready for our conversations. I invite you, as always, to be part of our conversation by making use of the live chat box there, right here on your YouTube application. And if you're listening to this broadcast of ours via our archives, I also invite you to be part of our conversations by making use of the comment section right here on your YouTube application. So let's go for that music break while I'm, you know, prepare, or should I say, while I gather my thoughts about what we talking about on this episode of Blend. So, to how would I say, to whet your appetite, okay? Our topic of conversation is you can't frame a selfie. Yeah. So that's what we'll be talking about on this episode of Blend. That's our topic of conversation. You can't frame a selfie. Nice observation, right? So, we'll be talking about that after this music break. Okay, this song is Astro Rhythm. Enjoy. Welcome back from that music break. You're listening to Blend here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. I hope you enjoyed that song. The song you listened to during the music break is titled Astro Rhythm. Just checking one or two things. Okay. Just checking one or two things to make sure everything is working properly. So the song you listen to is titled Astro Rhythm, and before that music break, I revealed to you our topic of conversation, and I said we are going to be talking. The topic is you can't frame a selfie. Okay, you can frame a selfie. Let's get into it. Recently, some couple of days ago, actually, this week, I was looking at a framed photograph of myself. Okay, you know, it's a photograph of me as a child. Okay, that this was way before my teenage years, and it was at a party. That is this photograph was taken at a party. I was wearing a suit. To give you a description of what this photograph looks like, I was wearing a suit with a cowboy hat. Yeah, I was wearing a suit with a cowboy hat, and I had this gallant pose, for a young chap. Okay, quite impressive, I must say. And looking at this photograph or this framed picture of mine of my childhood, I I couldn't help but recollect the memories that led up to that exact pose, that led up to that moment. Like I said, it was at a party. And looking at this photograph of mine, I started to remember the whole the whole scenario. I can actually remember the event. I remember me striking that pose and being surrounded by other kids who were, you know, who were waiting to take their own pictures as well, and others who were just interested in what I was doing. I remember this vividly, and I looked beside this framed picture of mine. On the left of this picture is also another framed picture of my parents, striking their own romantic pose as well. That is, this picture of my parents is on the left of this picture of mine. Okay, so it's right beside it, and I look at this picture as well, and I can also recollect. I can remember the exact moment and the event where that picture was taken. That is where the picture of my mom and my dad, they were seated at the beach, and my dad was holding my mom. They were seated, and he was behind her, holding holding her in front of him, and they struck this romantic picture together as well. This picture together where they were standing beside each other. You could see, okay, you could see from the, just looking at the photograph, you could see the you could see that they were friends. Okay, they were smiling. It was like a casual pose. They were both dressed, somewhat casually, standing beside each other, smiling. My dad was laughing actually, and uh, his boss had his his hand on his back, as if he was giving him a pat on the back, that sort of friendly pat on the back. So looking at these three pictures, that is, first of all, my picture, the one that I took at at an event, at a party when I was quite young, before my teenage years. And on the left of this picture is another one of my parents, striking the romantic pose, and feeling all lovey-dovey, and and on the right of my picture is a picture of my dad and his boss. All three of these photographs are framed, hanging on the wall. And me looking at these photographs, I could see the process. I could see the process that led up to that moment. I could see what it took, or I could imagine what it took to capture that moment and to frame it, okay, so that it lasts for, you can always go back to the picture, and it lasts, should I say, forever, or it lasts for for a lifetime, okay. I could also imagine the cameraman asking my father, or asking the people in this, that is myself, my parents, and the three pictures. I could imagine the cameraman asking them to adjust their positions, to smile, to adjust their neck, to there was a lot that went into these pictures, into capturing this moment. And one thing I also observed, and one thing that really, 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 one thing that really, should I say, that stood out for me, one thing that stood out for me is how these pictures sort of spoke for themselves, okay? They didn't, there wasn't any sort of, there wasn't any need to like explain the pictures, okay? I'm getting somewhere, so just follow me. Let's talk about this. I'm getting somewhere, okay? So there wasn't any need to explain the pictures and to give us more details about what these pictures meant. You could see and you could understand the story behind these pictures by just looking at them. Okay, so the pictures spoke for themselves. Okay, the picture of my mom and my dad spoke for itself. The picture of me at the event, at the party, spoke for itself. Likewise, the picture of my dad and his boss. So all these pictures spoke for themselves. And again, the process that went into capturing this moment, the photographer, asking them to adjust to capture the perfect pose. There was a lot of work that went into these pictures. And afterwards, after capturing this moment, they still had to take these pictures to the dark room to process it. After processing it, they still had to take it further in order to frame it, to capture it, and to frame these pictures so that you can hang them on the wall. Okay. And after so many years, these pictures are still on the wall in my sitting room. Okay, it's still there, and I know it's still gonna be there for for much longer. Now let me ask you something. Remember that selfie you took? Remember your last selfie? No? Remember the last selfie you took? How 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 fast or how quickly you took this selfie without giving much thought into the pose, into the pose, without giving much thought into. Good. Okay, bear with me. Uh, Trying to get some, trying to make this thing work properly so that we can have a smooth, a smooth broadcast. Okay. Now, as I was saying, remember the selfie, the last selfie you took? How how quickly you took the selfie? How how yeah, how quickly you took the selfie. Apart from that, how you didn't give much thought into the pose. Okay, just picked up your phone, perhaps in the bedroom, looked at the mirror, and like a normal selfie. Okay, there wasn't much thought into the process because there wasn't any need to process anything. All you just had to do was just click, right? All you had to do was just click and click your phone, press a button on your phone. All you had to do was press a button on your phone and you took your selfie. There wasn't any need to pose or to strike any gallant pose or anything so extraordinary, or it was just a normal selfie. And what did you do when you uploaded it on Instagram? Perhaps you had to explain yourself, or you had to write a few words, as a, should I say, caption underneath this selfie to give it some sort of context. You could write something underneath and say, I woke up like this. You could write something like that. I woke up like this, just to give people an understanding to make people understand, to give them an idea or make them understand the context of the selfie that you took and you uploaded on Instagram. So you had to write a few words. Okay, you had to write a few words and you uploaded it and you got as much likes as you wanted, and perhaps more than you wanted, or perhaps less than you wanted. I started to compare the framed photograph on my wall in my sitting room, all three of them. I started to think about selfies, and then it dawned on me that you can't frame a selfie. You can't frame a selfie. Okay, you can't frame a selfie. While on the other hand, or should I say on one hand, looking at the framed photographs, again, you could see the process, how much work went into capturing that moment, you know, capturing that moment and processing that picture, cleaning it if possible. I don't know what they do, in the back room, in the dark room, and going further to make the perfect frame around that picture so that you can hang it on the wall and it lasts for, if possible, for a lifetime or beyond a lifetime. That is beyond your lifetime, as 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 the person who took that photograph. You could be gone and that photograph would still remain on the wall telling its story without you having to write any words, without you having to explain the photograph. Look at all the framed photographs in your house or in your home. Did you have to write anything underneath these photographs? No, you didn't. Okay, the photograph spoke for itself. You didn't need to qualify yourself or anybody to understand the context of the photograph. It just spoke for itself. The romantic photograph spoke for itself. The gallant pose at the party spoke for itself. The picture that my dad took with his boss also spoke for itself. But a selfie doesn't speak for itself. Most times we have to explain the selfie. Write a few words under it. One thing I also observed is how short-lived the selfie is. Yeah, how short-lived a selfie is. It doesn't last long. It doesn't last long at all. Compared to the framed photograph on the wall, it doesn't capture enough memories, or should I say, when you look at the selfie and you look at that framed picture at the wall, you get more memories, or yeah, you get more memories looking at that framed picture compared to the memories you get looking at a selfie. Understand what I mean? Like, you get to remember the event that led up to that moment. Okay? Yes, you do get memories from a selfie too. I know. But again, A selfie doesn't last long, it's short-lived compared to that framed photograph on the wall. How many times have you deleted those selfies on your phone? How many times those bedroom selfies, those random selfies, you dress up in the morning, you're going out, you take a selfie. How many times have you deleted those pictures, to create more space on your phone? The point of all of this is to get us to ask ourselves one simple question. Are we living the kind of life that we can frame afterwards and hang on the wall? Or are we living a selfie kind of life? Are we living a life where we put so much thought into the pose, into the details, into the process? Or are we living a fast-paced, just get it over with, don't put so much thought into the pose in front of the mirror and just snap kind of life? What kind of life are we living? Is it the one where we put so much thought into the pose, into the details, into the posture, so much thought that even so much thought that even a slight no a how do I put this? So much thought into it that a slight should I say mistake, like bending your neck in a certain position, can ruin the picture. So you have to adjust your neck. The photographer has to tell you to adjust your neck. What I'm saying is the details. Okay, the details in that framed photograph, it mattered compared to the details. You put so much thought into the details, into capturing that moment in a framed photograph. Compare that to a selfie. You put so much thought into capturing that photograph so that it lasts longer, so that you can hang it on the wall, so that after you're gone, you still have something to show. The picture speaks for itself. Your life speaks for itself. Unlike a selfie, where you have to explain yourself all the time. You have to qualify yourself to people. You have to keep explaining yourself on Instagram, on Twitter. And at the end of it, everybody just moves on. You move on, they move on. Easy, quick, done, forgettable. What kind of life are we living? We need to ask ourselves this question and bear in mind that you can't frame a selfie. You can't frame a selfie. No matter how good that selfie looks. Okay? It looks good, I know. You look good. You look good in that bedroom photograph of yours. But you can't frame it. You didn't put so much thought into it. The memories coming out from that, the memories you get looking at that bedroom photograph or that selfie that random selfie you just took on your way going to work. You wore your best outfit and you just, let me just take a selfie. It looks good and upload it on Instagram and off you go. Everybody scrolls past it. They give you the likes that it deserves and everybody moves on and you repeat. you rinse, you repeat. And each time you have to write something underneath so that people can get you, so that people can understand you. You can't frame a selfie. You can't frame a selfie. Okay? So I think it's time we start putting so much thought into the process, so much thought into the details, so much thought into the pose we strike, into the smiles, those little details that make the photograph worth framing. No, those little details, that slight neck adjustment that just makes everything sweet. Turn your neck. That little adjustment just makes everything beautiful. That is the kind of life you should aim to live. A life where you put so much into the process, into the details, into the pose, that at the end of it all, that wasn't the only picture. Let me just take you back to those photographs. Those weren't the only pictures we took that day. Those weren't the only pictures I took at that event. I took at least, if possible, I think perhaps 2 or 3. And also, the framed photograph of my parents wasn't the only picture they took that day at the beach. Plenty photographs. But there was something about that one that made it worth framing. There was something about that one that separated it from the pack, that separated it from the rest of those photographs, that made it worth framing, that made it worthy of it being on your sitting room wall or wherever you choose to hang that photograph, that framed picture. There was something about it. Think what made it worthy, and compare it to the selfies, to the numerous selfies on your phone. Those selfies that you just took, you woke up in the morning and say, I woke up like this, snap. Those selfies you took on your way to work, snap. You can't frame a selfie. Okay? I had to use this to illustrate and to drive home the point, to ask us, to help us understand and to help us ask ourselves the basic questions, to help us realize that we need to live our lives in a way that at the end of it all, It is worth framing. Okay? To live our lives in a way where where we pay attention to the details, to the process, to the adjustments, to those little things that matter. So that at the end of it all, it is worth framing and hanging on the wall compared to a selfie that you just snap. It's easy. You just click your phone. You press a button on your phone. Don't put so much thought. Don't put so much, so much into the process. Everything has already been done for you. You don't need to process anything. You don't need to take anything to the dark room. It took weeks, it took months for that picture to get on the wall. It took just a second for you to have a selfie. But at the end of it all, that picture on the wall and your selfie, you can't compare the two. You can't. Because you can't frame a selfie. You're listening to Blend here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. My name is Lázougi, and what are we gonna do next? Okay, it's time for us to go for another music break. We're gonna listen to this song. I hope that you have been enjoying our conversation and you have had a wonderful time. There's still more to come, okay? There's still more music, more talk, and more conversation. So sit tight, okay? And enjoy this song. This song is titled Section 1. When we come back from this music break, like I said, there's more talk, more music, and more conversation coming your way after this break. Enjoy. Whew. I feel blessed to be here. Okay, it's a wonderful Saturday morning. It's 12:47 a.m. I hope you are having a wonderful time here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. This has been Blend episode 16, and I hope that you have something to take home with you, something to inspire you, something to lift up your spirits, and something to get you to do those things that you love to do, something that gets you to make your life worth framing, okay? To live a life worth framing, worth hanging on the wall, if you get what I mean. If you get what I mean. So I want to say thank you for listening. Once again, it's always a pleasure of mine, for us to come together to hang out, to just talk, to rub minds together, to listen to some good music, to laugh, to play, to interact, to bond, and to share ideas. That is what we do here on Blend, here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. I hope you have had an amazing time and you have learned one or two things. It will make me really, really glad to know that you are inspired. Okay? Well, our time is fast spent, and this is the time where we say our goodbyes, where we say our goodbyes and look forward to another time where we can come together to talk and to do this once again. Again, I say thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the family here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. And in case you're wondering, how do I become part of this amazing this family of yours, or should I say of ours? Simple. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the station, and turn on the live notification bell so that you get a notification when we do go live, or when we go live for our broadcast, okay? So that you can be part of this family and also be part of our broadcast. this is where I call it a day. This is where I wrap up this episode of Blend. I wish we had more time to spend so that we can get into all the topics. But like I always say, there's so much to do and I have to get back to work in preparation for our forthcoming episode of Blend. I'm gonna be leaving you with a song while I, take a bow and head out. You're gonna be listening to a song titled "Can I Take a Hit?" Or sorry, "Can You Take a Hit?" Can you take a hit? That's the title of the song you're gonna be listening to. The song I'm gonna be leaving you with, and I'm looking forward to seeing you for another episode of Blend. So this has been Blend episode 16. Next week, Friday, we're gonna be having Blend episode 17. So, keep that, fingers crossed, okay? And we'll be back for another interactive and totally immersive experience next week. Take care of yourself. God bless you. My name is Lázougi, and I'll see you again. God bless you, and bye bye. Can you take a hit? Enjoy.
You're listening to your number one electronic music station. Yeah, in God knows where.